Banging on Wax offers the gang members an outlet for their anger. E's Amy Powell has the story.
They are members of two of LA's most notorious gangs. Red is the color identified with the Bloods. The Crips wear blue. 16 gang members have put aside their weapons and their differences and united as rappers.
Getting Bloods and Crips in the room and they don't know what's going on is hard until you sit down and talk to them like men and they can understand what it's all about. And I think the whole thing was respect. I think if you give respect, they'll give you respect.
We're trying to show them that we can come together, make a record, and show positive issues, and at the same time prove that we have talents other than just pulling triggers and doing whatever, selling drugs.
Producer Ronnie Phillips says he wanted to give the gang members an opportunity to do something positive.
I mean, I don't look at them as being Bloods or Crips. I look at them as being my brother. Once we understood that, we started a relationship. And once you start a relationship, then you can work together. Then you become business partners. Then you can grow, become producers, actors, whatever. Because there's a lot of talent in the streets and people overlook that.
When this project started, some of these gang members didn't even want to be in the same room together. Now they've formed lasting relationships. Bangin' on Wax will be released next week. From Los Angeles, I'm Amy Powell for E! News Week in Review.
Francesca Capucci reports he's brought together two long-standing enemies in hopes of redirecting their anger without violence.
Bangin' on Wax was the vision of producer Ronnie Phillips.
My whole philosophy was to stop the brothers from killing each other, because right now there is no way out. Only way out is either give them better jobs, which that's not happening. Nobody's working at Mickey D's nowadays, because these guys make more money than I do in a week just on the street. So my thing was to come up with a record. At least these guys can make some money and can better their lives.
Phillips gathered gang members from different parts of Los Angeles. His goal, to reach the kids.
The ones I'm really worried about is the BGs, the baby gangsters. And once they realize, hey man, instead of me picking up my 9 to shoot you, I'd rather pick up an 8 pen and write a diss rhyme. You know, that's basically what it's all about.
The raps are hard and violent, but the Bloods told me rapping is a safer way to seek revenge. Keep those lines of communication open. Bangin' on Wax will be an ongoing project. Ronnie Phillips plans on producing an additional 3 albums with different gang members from different areas. Both gangs say they will invest the money they make from Bangin' on Wax into their community.
Look at that, this is much love. Right here. You know what I'm saying? This history being made here, you know what I'm saying?
Bangin' on Wax is an album containing the redirected energies of members of the Bloods and the Crips, two violent rival Los Angeles gangs. The idea was to have the gang members deal with their differences verbally instead of physically and create some honest income at the same time.
A portion of the profits from the Bangin' on Wax album will be used to help build recreational facilities in Los Angeles.
Dominant gangs in Los Angeles. And since that time, some members of both gangs have looked for new ways to redirect their energy. And as Mary Major Jack shows us, they're turning their frustrations into money.
Give these guys something to do. Instead of picking up a 9mm to go shoot somebody, they can pick up an 8 pen and write a diss rhyme, since rap is so powerful.
Around Crips other than when it's time for animosity, you know what I'm saying? But as we progress, you know what I'm saying, during the album, and you know, looked at it as a business type issue other than, you know, a gangbanging situation, you know what I'm saying? Things kind of change.
It's always trying to reach the kids,
the younger youth.
You know what I'm saying? Try to keep them, you know, going out there and doing some of the things we did, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just some help, you know what I'm saying? And I'm all with it.
Can you ever imagine a day where you're just all going to be friends and you're not going to be Bloods and Crips?
Later on down the line, we will put these away, you know what I'm saying, to be able to kick it amongst one another without having to say, damn, that's a Blood, or I'm a Crip, you know what I'm saying? We can just kick it as homeboys, you know what I'm saying?
It's going to be black.
Loved ones, yeah, it's going to be a black thing.
You wasted it.
For Screen Scene, I'm Mary Major Jack.
The Bloods and the Crips debuted their first video from the album Bangin' on Wax at the Troubadour in West Hollywood. It's a project designed to make a difference.
at the spot just hanging with the homies.
They're able to get their frustrations out on a record. And take for instance, we shot the video shoot. I had over 220 different Bloods and Crips from all over. I mean, I didn't know half the guys, but they came there, no violence. I mean, it was a little confrontations, but when everybody understood, hey man, we're here to make records. We're not here to fight and kill each other. We're here to make records. It was cool. I'm getting letters from teachers all across the country. They're playing it in schools. I'm getting letters from kids calling me, sending me letters. They want to. I mean, it's been great.
These gang members feel positive momentum building.
Because the simple fact the album is so positive, you know, people can't see anything negative, you know. A lot of people get killed on tape, but nobody get hurt.
Whenever black people get together doing something, you know what I'm saying, together, it's a positive thing, you know what I'm saying, whether it may be sports, rap, or whatever it may be.
And some have decided to discard their masks.
We taking the flags off our face, you know what I'm saying, so people can see us, you know what I'm saying, and understand some of the things we're trying to do, you know what I'm saying. It's not glorifying gangs, you know what I'm saying, but that's what we are.
Bangin' on Wax will be an ongoing project involving many more Bloods and Crips from different parts of the city, demonstrating there is a lot of raw talent on the street. Francesca Capucci, Channel 7 Eyewitness News in West Hollywood.
Have come together. It's often been with deadly results. But now these bitter rivals are uniting for a common cause called Bangin' on Wax. CNN's Gloria Hillard reports.
On turf staked out by scrawls on the walls, there's a confrontation. Members of Los Angeles' most notorious gangs, the Bloods and the Crips, meet for the cameras. On the mean streets home to gang banging, they've turned bullets into a war of words, a rap record recorded by 16 members of the two rival gangs.
Here's a chance to do something I like to do, which is rap, and make some money at the same time, and then it'll keep me out of jail, you know what I'm saying?
They were brought together by record producer Ronnie Phillips.
We're going to make a record. We got to come together. Still unity, man. It's about black power, man. We can't be fighting and shooting each other. I mean, you guys have an opportunity now to become somebody.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the line from Oaktown's 357, we have Sweet LD.
He would say, let me see what you have. And then we would show him, and he'd say, no, I want it bigger. I want this. I want it larger. I want it more intense. He says that he wrote all of it. Hammer did not. People think that we were not approachable. They felt like we were standoffish. It was none of those things. It was just the way he dealt with us and felt that he needed to keep control. I started with him as he was selling things out of the back of his car. He was making it work. This man hustled, and we were not getting paid. We didn't get paid. We were not getting paid. We had to really decide if we were going to continue working in the way that we were. Everybody worked. You know what I mean? So, yes, he made that kind of money, but he took care of no one.
One of my favorite songs in hip-hop history, period, is We're All in the Same Gang from the West Coast Rap All-Stars, which for anyone who doesn't know, it was kind of a peace song that a bunch of West Coast artists did back in the early 90s. Everybody from Eazy-E to MC Hammer to Digital Underground to Oaktown's 357.
We were blessed to be part of it. That is true.
Yeah, I'm
that
Terrible T, and I'm Sweet LD with 357. Totally. Kicking on the ad about 8:45. Oh, the homie, I'm telling you, man.
Oh, my God. You make me feel so bad because I do not know all the lyrics and stuff. That's so funny. But, yeah,
talk to me about that, please.
We didn't understand. We did not have any clear inkling that we were going to be a part of that. Okay. There was an agreement between MC Hammer and Mike Conception and some of Mike Conception's people in Los Angeles. And Mike Conception was part of the gang, and he felt like something needed to be done on the lines of self-destruction that the East Coast had done. So he wanted an anthem, so to speak, you know, in response to that, like that, and is showing all the unity with hip-hop artists from the West Coast. So, you know, we were blessed. I mean, there's no other way to say it. When Hammer explained it to us, we were like, oh, okay, well, that's great that you're doing that. It's going to be a good look, you know, whatever. And then he comes back, he goes, well, no, you guys will be part of it too. And we're like, what? Huh?
Nice.
You know, because Hammer was looked at as, he wasn't always looked at as favorable. You know, he's from the West Coast, and so he wasn't looked at as like he was a true rap artist or MC or any of those things. And so sometimes people clump Oaktown 357 into that. So we kind of got both, where people loved the group, and then sometimes they didn't. There was always some criticism, so we just didn't assume anything. If he was invited to do We're All in the Same Gang, I just thought that was dope, and it's going to be great. And then he said, you guys are going to be fired. We was like, what? You know. So we had to kind of figure out what we were going to say. And then we get there. Now, this is one thing that I did have a little issue with, is what we were wearing.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so that was my, this is the hood in L.A.
You guys went to the projects, right? You paint the picture for them. You guys recorded this in the I think it was Nickerson Gardens or something like that.
We did, and we did not know that that's where it was going to be. So there was a lot of details that were not shared with us.
Yeah, that's a big detail.
You know what I'm saying?
I live in
I
live in L.A., and you got to warn me if we're going to the Nickerson Gardens, man.
Well, see, and we didn't have, you know, we're not from L.A., so we don't know what's what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we have been there several times to film videos, but again, you're at a hotel, you know, by the swimming pool, or you're driving down the street in, you know, Beverly Hills or wherever it was they had us driving down the street. So you're not really familiar with all the little nooks and crannies of Los Angeles, Southern California. So when he said you're going to be part of it, we're like, okay, cool. You know, cool, that's great. We were shocked, we're excited, so whatever. And then he says, we got to film the video. So we're like, okay, what do we wear? You know, he's like, 357 style, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then we get there. And I'm like, wow. We are so overdressed. I mean, like, just so, it was so uncomfortable. But I don't know to this day, honestly, if anybody had anything negative to say about us being there, dressed the way that we were. We were actually received really warmly. You know, even to the point where when it was performed on Arsenio Hall, we were again included in that. So we dressed totally different for the Arsenio Hall show. But, yeah, it was just a different, how do you say, this was almost like a welcoming from people that you normally would not have a certain conversation with. You wouldn't be in the same room with. You wouldn't be interacting or kicking it with. You know, this is, again, L.A., you know, hip-hop artists from L.A., and we had met EZE and NWA. I'm trying to think who else we had met. Tone Loc, I think we had met. There's a few that we had met, but for the most part, we had not met a lot of them. And they were really like, we were family. Oddly enough, it was like we were family, you know what I'm saying? And we were coming together for the common cause and, this, you know, to get this message out that we should be doing better. We should be better examples, you know, to the youth, and that we all could do better, you know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of like interesting.
Yeah.
You know, not what I expected. It really wasn't what I expected. I really thought we would get looked at kind of funny, a little backlash, you know, a little cold shoulder. It was nothing like that.
Good.
Nothing like that at all. Yeah, it was like we're all here for the same cause. We're all doing our part, and your part, whatever you have to contribute, is welcome. You know, so let's get this done.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was really cool.